You're listening to OS on the BBC World Service. Just before we came on air, an email dropped into my inbox to say, what do we know about the fire at the Tibet Jokhang Temple? I don't know too much about it, so we thought we'd get Kerry Allen, who wrote that email, to explain it to us on the programme too. Our China media analyst with BBC Monitoring that looks at media all around the world. And Kerry, good to have you back on OS. This happened at this holy Buddhist temple on the 17th of February.
Yes, it did. Yes, there's been a lot of quiet. And anything that happens in Tibet, in China, you'll normally there'll be a long silence before anybody actually hears the official line on what exactly has happened. But there were images that were going onto Chinese social media back on Saturday of this huge fire on the roof of this temple, and people were sharing posts of these and saying what is going on. It's a very special temple, and it contains thousands of relics, so they were saying, are these going to be damaged, etc. But today state media have said that the temple has it's not been damaged, and they're ruling out arson. But this at the moment is only the preliminary investigation. There's an ongoing investigation to find out exactly what's happened.
And of course Tibet is an area that China claims sovereignty over, although this is disputed by people like the exiled leader, the Dalai Lama, who is over the border in India. So tell us about how this temple fits into Buddhism, how important it is.
It's an extremely important temple, and this is partly the reason why state media have been so cautious about this. I mean, normally what happens in China anyway, if there's an ongoing incident, something like a fire or a hostage situation, you won't hear about it in the Chinese media until the situation is resolved. So at first, when this fire happened, there was some concern that it might be because Tibet's such a sensitive area, because there have been restive tensions before in the region, that there may be some motive behind this fire. But what I've been seeing on Chinese social media, in the kind of posts that have been censored, there are websites at BBC Monitoring that we can look at that identify which posts on social media the government has confirmed censored. I've not been seeing any indication that there is any motive behind this attack, behind this fire, and a lot of the posts that have been deleted are actually quite innocuous. They're people asking, I hope nobody's been injured, or I hope nobody's died in this fire, and I hope there's going to be peace in the region.
And yet on Tencent TV, which is this big video site, I see that you tried to search for the phrase Jokhang Temple on there, and it comes up with a message: according to relevant laws, regulations and policies, results cannot be displayed. Is that a normal situation with a story like this then on social media and sites like that in China?
It is, yes. You'll see this across social media, across mainstream portals, news websites, etc. What normally happens is when something sensitive like this happens, there are government agents who send out emails or even pick up the phone and say, right, we need to basically anything that contains these following words need to be just automatically deleted. Don't allow people to see the stream of what's coming in. So Tencent's not caught up with this yet, and whereas Sina Weibo has allowed people to be posting about the temple today, Tencent has still got its filter on, basically meaning that anybody who searches for the temple, the posts are just going to show as blocked.
Thanks very much indeed for explaining that. Kerry Allen is our China media analyst at BBC Monitoring, live here on BBC OS.